Hello, welcome to Kids Animation Productions. I am Chris. This is part 2 of how to do a simple character in Moho 12 Pro Edition. I don't have Pro 13 yet, so, um, well, it's somewhat the same program, except you can draw with vector graphics, I guess. But let's open this document. In the last time I designed a character just like this, and then also bring out the notepad too. So this is an overview of what the character should be doing on the screen when I'm gonna animate the character. So right now I'm gonna go back here and adjust some of these properties. So let's first drag this over. Let's create a new vector shape. Call this ear. Let's also give it a lighter gray shape. Just to distinguish the part of the body with the ear. Let's go ahead and select the hair layer. Go over here to the color selector, and all I'm just doing is just right clicking on the shape of color of the hair. And I don't really like the shape of the hair. It looks kind of dorky to me, so I'm gonna make it simpler for me to do. So I'm gonna highlight the points, select T on the keyboard, delete the points, and then press A on the keyboard, and that will actually add points. Start from the ear, and then follow through with the shape of the hair. The character is a part of a egg-shaped thing, so I'm gonna follow the shape of this body with the hair. So, anywho, gonna start doing that. Go around the ear. And just welding the points. And then with the curvature tool, I'm gonna sharpen these points around the ears. Go ahead and press T and move these points to the location. I like that better than before, so I'm gonna highlight the points, press U on the keyboard, and then press return, and that'll create a shape just like this. That's something that I like better. Then I'm also gonna make out a circle shape just above this hairline, so I'm gonna click and drag with the shape, deselect it by pressing escape, pressing C on the keyboard for the curvature tool. sharpen the points. Then we might have to readjust this layer, positioning it in the folder later. So I'm gonna just rotate the shape just like so. Just go ahead and reposition the shape of the band. And the reason I'm doing this is because of no other purpose but for style purposes. I think that will do. Okay. I'm also gonna add in a ponytail to this character. So what I'm gonna do is add in a new vector shape. Call this ponytail or pony T. Create a circle with the create shape tool. Press C on the keyboard for the curvature tool. Highlight the points. And then with the T on the keyboard, I'm gonna translate the points over here. That looks nice. Better than before, so. Okay, that's something that I like. So let's now work on the eyes. I really don't like how the eyes are coming about, so I'm gonna highlight the eyes and press Alt, press T on the keyboard and delete the points. Let's make them bigger. So I'm gonna click and drag out the oval shapes. We can go ahead and reposition it in the folder layer. Copy, Control C, Control V to something that looks like this. Go ahead and just shrink it a little bit so that it looks like it's in position. Okay, that looks better. Now with this selected, eye selected, we're going to make a group selection. Call this eye mask. Oh, there we go. Underneath the masking tab, I'm going to select hide all. So double click on the eye layer, go under masking, exclude strokes, and press OK. Then I'm going to be making pupils. Okay. What I'm thinking for the color is something dark blue, or it's really up to you. What your character looks like. This is only demonstration purposes. Probably with the eyes, it won't do anything in the animation, so it's still there. I noticed too that this back arm is a little bit big. So right now I'm going to shrink the arm just a bit, so that it matches up perspective. Also too, I'm going to be adjusting the legs to the color. So let's do that real fast. And then go ahead and find the other leg and do the same thing with this front one. We're gonna select this color, this blue color for the pants. Go ahead and adjust this color. Make it a little bit darker. Okay. Now we got a character that we can start rigging up. So what I'm gonna do is right click the folder and convert to bone, and that will actually turn this group into a bone layer. So let's quickly add some bones to this character. Click and drag out the first bone. This will be the body. And we don't need any controls for the eyes or the nose or anything else, because simply this character will just be running and jumping. Let me check the overview real fast. Oh. There you go. You need running, jumping, and throwing stuff. So we do need to add some physics to the hair. So what I'm going to do is quickly add bones when this body bone is selected. Just do something like this. Press up on the keyboard to select this bone again. We're gonna be dragging out this. Okay. Now we can go ahead and start rigging up the arms. So in this case, I'd like to hide everything except for the front arm. So on the keyboard, press Alt and select the layer to highlight just the arm. It will actually depend on what type of character you will have and how simple it is. But just for this project, I'm going to make it very, very simple. Oh, excuse me, real fast to check the time. It's pretty good. So once again, I'm gonna click on this layer with the Alt to make everything appear. So of course, let's concentrate on the legs and the arms. So I'm going to be quiet for right now and do that, because I really don't need to explain everything. Or when I do this, I'm just pressing up on the keyboard to the up arrow to select this body bone. Now let's do the final bone. And sometimes it will do that because I think it's trying to realign with the bone up here. You might need to undo this a couple times to get it right. And we can bring everything back now. Okay. Now with that said, everything should be in place for us to start rigging this character. So what I want to do is just highlight the bones, tap S on the keyboard, bring up the bone strength, start bringing everything down just by going into this value, selecting it down to 0. Now this part is much more easy, so we're gonna select by layer the ear, so it's connected to the bone. Same thing with the nose, and same thing with the eye mask. Now let's select the body and then select the bone to bind. And with the ponytail, I'm going to select this bone. And the hair is point binding. So what I'm going to do is select the body bone first. Alt. And that will actually select this bone. Highlight the points. Control A on the keyboard to bind the points. Let's select the bands. Boned. That's a real hard one to say. Go ahead and binding again. We're gonna just bind this top bone with this band. Okay. Let's start off with the limbs now. So this one is the left arm. Go with the point binding. Select this top bone, highlight everything, and then bind point. Select this bottom of the arm. Do that. Same thing with this foot. Point bind everything. And then just highlight these points. The same thing with this back leg. We're gonna do the same thing. Highlight the points, bind it. And now with this bone selected, I'm going to be point binding everything. And with this back arm, I'm going to be point binding it too. Just do the simple process of binding everything. Now we can test everything in frame 0. That one moves good. So this for one, we're gonna select this layer. Let's also point bind this bone. Let's just test it again. That moves good. And so with this back arm, I really don't like how it bends. See how it's not bending at the correct location of the joint. So I'm gonna select this layer. Go over to translate points. Zoom in on the arm. Go ahead and line it up against this point. So if we now test it, you'll see that you have perfect joints. Okay. So everything look good. Let's add some bones to the feet. This is what is called as target bones. So with nothing selected, I'm going to click and drag down at the very bottom of the feet. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want the feet to be grounded to the floor. Select the bone strength again, Make sure that it says 0. Let's also to add some smart bones to this character. So what I'm going to do is highlight this bone. And I would like for this character to have a head turn kind of in one direction. So I'm gonna click and drag out the bone and just leave it something like that. That's all we got to do. Okay. Now we can rename everything in this folder. So first off, let's call the swollen body. Let's call this left arm. Let's call this left. Naming your body parts on your character is important. Actually, it's very important to your rig, so that way you know what's going on, and it will also help you in the long run. For example, if you're doing a complicated character, more complicated character, and if you have hundreds of bones to worry about in your rig, it's easier to get organized. Although with Moho 13, it'd be a lot easier than this. I'm just naming stuff to this. So let's call this boot. Right. Boot. Left. Okay, now let's make these two target bones. So what I'm going to do is go underneath the parent option. Press P on the keyboard and select the bones that we want to be a target bone. Press Control and select this bone, and do the same thing for this. You can also tell the program to make this target bone too. So if we test this out, you'll see our character bending at the knees. This is what I want. Let's also zero this bone out. So let's make sure that this is stretchy. So we're gonna highlight these bones, come over here to bone constraints, and turn 3 for maximum IK stretching. or inverse kinematics. That will make it so that way I can stretch the character up without losing its position. So it's easier for both of us to do. So when you do this, when you actually start creating your character for real, make multiple copies of the file. It's easier in the long run if you do that. Let's also test out the bones of this, the hair. We might have to add ankle constraints to this bone. Let's go with 10. There's not going to be a lot of movement to the hair. I just wanted to switch to one side. Same thing with this ponytail. I'm gonna become the program just go 5 pixels. That should be 5 pixels. It should be -5. About 10. It doesn't have to be much. All I'm just doing is just making sure that this thing moves in the wind as the character goes up. Okay. So let's add in a small bone action real fast. Oh, this is quite long too. I might have to break it into part 3 in a couple of seconds. Let's go with the head, turn. That's the last thing that I'm going to do for today. Let's make a bone action for this character. So let's also add in some ankle constraints to this character. So we'll see on the frame 24, I'm going to rotate this bone down. Let's shift everything to the left. Select the first 2 layers. Just do something like that, just to demonstrate the movement. We might have to skip the air for right now. Just so that way we have some movement within the head. Okay, so this concludes part 2 of a very, very simple character rig and design. Let's Let's also say it's completed. Now let's save this, a preview. And the next time I'll show you how to do a run cycle. That's a thing. Run. Okay. For the next tutorial, I'm gonna have to write this out, so the actions will be 1, run cycle, 2, jumping, and then 3, I guess, would be tossing something heavy, whatever. Let's also save that real fast. So, in part 3, I will be showing you this, how to do the actions for this character. But that concludes this video for today. If you like anything that I have shown you, please hit that like button for me to signal that you like my content. Make sure to share and subscribe to my channel for monthly or daily uploads. And then remember to, if you have anything to suggest, such as cartoons or else how to do stuff a little bit more complicated. I know that in the past I was horrible at communicating because I was so tired. That's the life that you live when you got a job. But anyway, yeah, make sure to subscribe. Alright guys, see you next time. Bye.